It's my pleasure to introduce my own suggestion on the innovation technology in middle industry in Ukraine. Okay. My suggestion in this part, I will start from what is the purpose we teach the student. Of course, we hope the student become a good man. They can support themselves and their family. They can contribute to their company. They can build a good company and a factory. They can contribute to their country and even to the world. This is very important. And then let us understand a little bit about the world situation. The world situation, you can see the meat production is increased continuously, and the beef cattle and beef industry also increased from 2016 until 2018. This kind of increase a little bit. Okay, this kind of a little bit. That means we have this kind of hope in the future. And in the whole area, you can see the number one still is United States. The second place is Brazil, and of course, European Union is the third one. How about the Ukraine? Ukraine is on the 20th. Okay, and also in this kind of name list, this is also the very highest production on the beef production. And of course, from the global pork production point of view, you can see this kind of name is from the European Union, the United States, Brazil, etc. Okay, this is quite interesting one because the biggest one and the lowest one have a big difference. The first one is China. Okay. When we will sell this kind of beef meat, we will say wholesale beef cut. We cut into the different parts because different cut will have different taste. Okay. Meat near the leg and the neck is tough. As those muscles do the most work. Because they are doing the work, they are working and turning their head, so their meat is tough. And the tough meat usually for tough purpose, okay? And not tough part of the meat is using for roast or something else, okay? And of course, the retail beef cuts also depend on this kind of chunk, rib, short loin, sirloin, and breast, and plate, flank, and round. And then, so because they are divided into this kind of different parts, so when we were using this kind of meat, we usually will cut into the different parts. So we can sell to the different people, and they can use it for different purpose to cook. Why we will cut like this way? Another reason is because different purpose have different price, so we can get a different profit. And then once we get a different profit, and then you can see the total profit will be higher, and so the retail people will get more profit from this one. Basically speaking, we can find the average live animal weight for beef is about 450 to 550. About this kind of kg, say selling the live weight selling to the market. But be careful, in the beef industry you have light beef, for example, 150 kilograms, 350 kilograms, sometimes 450 to 550. But occasionally they also have 600 kilograms. So basically, their average is about 450 to 550. Okay. As for the pork and the lamb, you can see from this table. This table, you will see the pork. The weight is from the 95 to 135. In the older time, it's only 95 to 100 or 110. But now it's increased a lot to 135. Even in Italy, they are selling to the market weight is about 150, even higher than 150. Okay, so the different countries have different custom. slot and cutting method. Because we need to know we need to training the student in different way. So we need to know what kind of cutting method they are using, slot or cutting method. Both slot and cutting method will have a manual way, semi-automatic way, and automatic way. You have to understand it's not say today we are using the automatic machine or semi-automatic machine. We will not be using the manual one. That's wrong, because in many places they still is using the manual one. So in this case, you have to learn everything. And the manual one has some kind of advantage. This kind of advantage you can see from here. Basically speaking, you can see if you can understand all these kind of things clearly, and then in the future when you are doing this kind of slot work, and you are more easy to do it, and also more easy to earn money. For example, meat. You can see the beef meat is bright, cherry red, okay, and the veal is light pink to the red. Veal sometimes is really very light pink, okay. So different meat will have different color. This is we always should be consider about this. You can see everyone say the red meat is beef, goat, lamb, and a little bit white meat is chicken, okay? And people usually say pork is another white meat. That is white. They say the grayish pink. Okay, this is we have to understand. From this kind of whole chain, we can see if we want a slaughterhouse, and we usually will start from the select animals. Also, you are engineering student, but you have to understand, you have to select animals related to your products and profit. Because if you select animal not properly, and then you will find you are easy to get the lower profit. Okay, and your product is also not very good. So select animal became very important, even the breed. The second one is transportation. Transportation is from the farmer to the slaughterhouse. This is related to your products, profit, and also humanity. Humanity is something animal welfare. Holding pens related to your products, profit, humanity, and also easy operation. Holding pens, they will loading here, and then they will go to the euthanasia place. And the euthanasia place, the most important thing is be careful about the humanity. Okay, because if you are not humanity way to dealing with animal, one day the animal welfare people will criticize you. And then the second continuous slaughter method. Cutting method, cooling method, cooling. And the cooling is very important because you are engineering student. And the engineering student, you have to learn the cooling. Include the air conditioning, include all this kind of insulation of your cooling place. And then you can save money and you can get the purpose. Because carcass need cooling. And so carcass need cooling, and then they can mature the carcass. And when carcass is cooling, and they were waiting until the carcass is transportation. Carcass transportation is different from the animal's transportation, because carcass transportation depends on they will transport based on the core truck. Okay, and another thing is very important, that is during all this kind of procedure, you need to have a good management. Good management, you have to follow some kind of management method. For example, this one is HACCP, okay, related to your products and profit. Because if your management is not good, and then you will get a very bad selling price. Most training start from the manual to semi-automatic and then automatic. The reason is because many people want to go directly to the automatic. When I was training in the Netherlands, they are always training me on the manual one, and then semi-automatic one, and then totally automatic. Because the learning person can learn basic principle. If you start from the manual one, you can learn the basic principle, and then they can operating and design machine more logical way. once you know how to slaughter animal in manual one, and then you will find you know the whole basic principle, and then you can design and four automatical this kind of slaughter machine or cutting machine, okay, and the cutting equipment, and then you have to know the cutting equipment, the cutting tables. You have to have all these kind of things. Okay, be careful. Usually it's with hard plastic top, and if wood, and you will be careful, and you use instead of the plastic one only the very tight wooden tops. Otherwise, the wooden chips will go into the meat, and then they will cause big trouble. And of course, knives. Different situation, you will have different knives. Boning, you use 20 centimeters straight knife, and the sticker using 30 centimeters curved knives. Okay, all these kind of things you have to understand. And of course, you need to have a meat saw. Meat saw is bent and electrical, and this part is very important one. Toast beans and meat trucks, wrapping tables, okay, papers and plastic foil. And this kind of plastic foil sometimes is wrapping, and this kind of meat. Tools holder, metal mask, safety gloves, because you have to protect yourself. Otherwise, your hands will be easily to be hurt. And another important thing is because you're working in the very cold environment. And once you're working in the cold environment, if you do not have gloves, and it's not only for to avoid the cutting by the machine, but by the knives or other things. But another important thing is because you can keep your finger or hands warm. Okay, boning upon the safety upons and hand wash basin, knife sterilizer. Okay, you have to be careful about things. We understand the university. Many people ask me, say, which universities have this kind of on-farm slaughter, on the university slaughterhouse? I should say, many American and European universities have this kind of slaughterhouse. All universities have cutting and meat processing house. Okay, because slaughterhouse is not for sale meat. The university slaughterhouse is not only for sale meat, but for training and research purpose. This is a very important idea because you have a university slaughterhouse. It's not for selling. You have to tell the government and say, this is not for selling. We are only to buy the animal to slaughter. And then we can teach the student, we can doing research work, and we can doing many things. And so this is a very important, you have this kind of things. Otherwise, you have no animal using in slaughter in the university. That means your student cannot learn anything. Okay, slaughterhouse is not for sale. What I said, I repeat it again. And the training not only for engineering students, but also for animal production students. Because the engineering students, they know how to use the equipment, how to use the engine, all this kind of facility to slaughter animal. But the animal students, they need to using the cut part of the animal to do their research or to do their teaching jobs, teaching works. Slaughterhouse is not only for the engineering department, but it's also for animal production and nutrition research. Because if you are doing the research work on the nutrition of the big cattle, and then you will find that finally you need to go to the slaughterhouse. If you have no slaughterhouse, your animal nutrition, especially beef cattle nutrition people, cannot be careful doing all this their nutrition work. If they cannot doing all this kind of carcass evaluation, and then you will find that they are actually not easy to achieve the very good training or very good research work. It is not only for the professor, but also for the postgraduate student. The very important things. Of course, sometimes some professors' research work is did by the postgraduate student. But don't forget, usually professor doing some kind of project, and the postgraduate student doing some kind of other project. So the postgraduate student can help the professor to do more research. Okay, this is very important. The meat is not for consumption, but for research. We have to understand the meat is not for consumption. So the university's meat slaughterhouse is not for consumption. We only occasionally will slaughter the animals. It's not slaughter animal every day. And the occasional slaughter animal, then the occasional this kind of slaughter animal can use it for engineering people to understand all the cutting method, and also can help the student to do their research work, even for the professor doing this kind of research work. And you know, in the university and the practical side, and we will find that university training is usually divided into two parts. One part is theory, one part is the practical one. The theory part is teaching your personality. And go to the university, you need to have a good personality. And of course, you are main subject training. Main subject training, for example, in this case is meat processing. Okay, and assist and associate subject training. For example, they understand all these kind of things with assistant or assisted and associated subject. And practical training, you can see the practical training is on paper. Sometimes it's not really practical training. Of course, you can also train the student on the paper and tell them on the paper, on the books, on the textbook, etc. And then you will find that they are training only on paper. And this kind of training usually is not so good for the student. And maybe you need to let them have learning by doing or hands-on learning. So if they are learning by doing things, and then they will have experience. And of course, the last one, how to present yourself to let the other people to understand it. This is also practical training. Practical training includes this kind of training, including how to use the PPT, how to use the practical training, how to use the demonstration training, and training the student. So this is become very important part. We always say learning by doing, learning by doing. What does it really mean, learning by doing? Learning something and doing, then you will not forget easily. Okay, that is very important because you are doing it. We always say, we try to remember in our mind. And it's not easy because you always try to use memory, not easy to forget. And if you can do it once or twice, or even 3 times or continuously, and then you can easily to remember and not forget. It also builds up the confidence of your future to do things. Because you did these things once, so you have confidence. If you do not do these kind of things, any times, any chance, and you always talking, and then you will become talking, but not doing things. So you have no confidence. One day people ask you to help them to solve problem, and then you will say, no, I cannot do it because I didn't do it before. So be careful, learning by doing is really very important. You can find a new method to do it. Because you are learning by doing, you are doing by your hands. And then next time you will think about how to design a new method, new machine, or new method, or even a new way to do it. Okay? Till you are familiar with the first method. Because you learn the first method by learning by doing. So the second method you can develop by based on the first method. So this is a very important one. And of course, learning by doing in the university is very important. Learning by doing through the internship. And everyone try to emphasize on the internship. I totally agree with internship. Because if you are working in the internship and working with another factory, with a foreign country's factory, etc., and you can learn more things from your other people's company. But be careful, usually students cannot learn the whole picture from outside the company. Why? Because when you go to the other companies, you maybe only have 1 week, 1 month, or 2 months. When I was a student, I working in the farms for 2 months. I still cannot learn everything. Why? Because this is a too short time. Too short time, they divide into different stages. And how can you learn everything within a very short time? Okay, in this case, you will find that the outside company also not welcome the student without experience. Most people were very polite. Okay, especially many countries, they are companies, people always very polite and say, it's okay, I can teach you, I can do everything for you. But remember, they always not really happy about a student without any experience. Okay, if you have experience, and then you will find that you are easy to accept by the company. This is very interesting. If they can accept you easily and they can teach you more, this is a really important thing. The student can learn more fast because you have learning by doing in the university, and you can learn more faster if they have experience before they go to outside the company. Okay. And so they can learn more things in outside the company, and because they have experience. So the learning by doing became very important inside of the university too. Okay, this is very important. However, the student better go through the whole processing once in the university, but not through the internship. Because in the university you can learn everything from the beginning to the end. And the teacher always have very patient to teach you everything. So you can learn everything in the university. You will say, we have no all the kind of the equipment or facility. That is not important, but you know how to slaughter the animal. Okay, you will see the beef cattle go inside your university and go to your inside the university slaughterhouse, and how to welcome this kind of beef cattle go inside your university. And then you watch them, and then you are handling them, and you are studying them, and all this kind of schedule, you know the general situation of the whole picture. Okay? So you can go through them. But this is it's not can go through when you are working in the internship. Okay? This is due to no any company can let you go through the whole picture once. Okay, this is very important. Also, university also cannot let you do all process. University can let you have a whole picture. And once you have a whole picture, you are in your whole career, in your life, and you can remember all these kind of things. For example, beef cattle, you can see this kind of schedule is quite a long schedule. Okay, receiving the live cattle, stirring them, breeding them, and then cut out the head, and then the shank, head and shank, remover, skinning, and take out the inside part, splitting, or the carcass, and trimming, zero tolerance, and the final wash, and organic acid spray, and then chilling them. Okay, once they chilling them, and then go to the storage. And of course, all these kind of other parties became very important. We also have a critical point. And the critical point is very important to examine whether this kind of place will have any kind of poison, or will have some kind of, for example, heavy metal, or even some kind of nail exists in the meat. And so this is also very important for the critical point to find out this kind of things. And also, of course, you can also see this is another kind of things, more simple one. Okay, and then finally wash all this kind of carcass. And go through the chicken, this kind of process even complicated. You can go through all this kind of part. Okay, and I know that your country are quite good at the beef cattle and also originating the pork. But I believe you also have a good chicken slaughterhouse. And the chicken slaughterhouse, you can see, go through all these parts, and one by one. That is very complicated. So you better to understand the inside of university. Okay, this is a very important one. Of course, another important thing is quality control and safety products of the meat industry. Okay, you need to know this drug residue, poison material during the processing feed additive. For example, plastic one, coating one, material one, etc. Okay, be careful all these kind of things. If you mix all these kind of things in your meat, also your cutting method is very good, and everything is doing very good. But the problem is you still will have these kind of things will hurt the consumer. And once you hurt the consumer, your company's products will have very bad reputation. And once you have a very bad reputation, and you cannot sell to the market. So this is a very important one. And of course, at the same time, sometimes this is some kind of material you can find, but it's not easy to find. It's drug residue and some kind of chemical residue. For example, in this kind of the drug residue, you have to understand how to use GC, HPLC, and GC pass. Okay, once you're using this kind of thing, you can detect all these kind of residual things. And how to evaluate the meat grade, color, marbling, etc. This is, you have to learn from in the university. If you do not learn from university, you will find that you are a stupid engineer. And maybe you are a stupid animal science, animal production people. Because both people need to understand each other at the same time. Meat color change during the processing. You have to understand why the meat color will change. Because sometimes the meat color will change from the red color to purple color, or even to the white color. And why they will change? Okay. In this case, people ask me, say, could you point out some kind of things we can study in the Ukraine, in your university? I will say you can analyze drug residue in beef. You can analyze the heavy metal residue in the beef. You can analyze the meat color in beef. Meat color change during the processing. You can understand all these kind of things, and you can doing all this kind of research work. And you will say, this may be some people, some other countries already did this kind of things before. Don't worry, because this is not doing in your country. So the best way is doing this kind of thing in your country, and then you can get the experience. Once you get the experience, and then you will find you are easy to talk to each other about your country's beef and your country's export beef. Okay, this is a very important part. Design and meat industries enterprise. Whole picture of the meat factory. Flow chart of the meat factories. I always encourage my own students have to understand the whole picture of the industry. Once you understand the whole picture of your industry, and then you know what happened in your country in this part. And of course, you need to know the flow chart. And once you know the flow chart, and then you know what is one by one, you don't need to force yourself to remember everything, but you can understand it through the flow chart, and then you can easily to understand every part. And this part you can ask your student drawing the picture, because you send your student to the other companies. Every company has its own way to do it on the slot and cutting. Different company have a different method. Remember, different company have a different method. This is a very important thing. So you can ask your student drawing the picture of flow chart of every company where they have internship in factory. Okay? And so in this case, not only the student can get a good impression of the different companies doing what they are doing, but also for the teacher, this is very good because you learn from the different company the detail this kind of flow chart, this kind of whole picture. Okay, so you can do this kind of things. Of course, microbiology, meat and the meat products. Basic microbiology, fermentation and microbiology, for example, molluscus and also the purulence. And these kind of things you can see the microbiology is not only for disease, but also for meat processing. And once you want to produce a fermented or treat the meat, and you always can using the microbiology. And of course, this item, you can do quite a lot of study. Remember this kind of study, if you do not have meat, you cannot do it. If you have meat produced in your own slaughterhouse, that means not produced, that is actually after slaughter. And this kind of meat can use it for study purpose, it's not for consumption purpose. And then you will find that this is, you can do a lot of study. Okay, this is a very important part. Of course, technology seminar. I always suggest people to have their own technology knowledge seminar. Slaughter and cutting related meat and internal organs utilization, small and big slaughterhouse and the equipment, small and big cutting facility and equipment. How to keep the sanitation during the slaughterhouse. How to get the most big profit during the cutting. Okay, be careful. If you can change a little bit of cutting, and then you can let the retail people earn more money, and then your university will be more welcomed by the other people. This is a very, very important thing. Because university is not only for teaching, but also for demonstration to the business people say, we can teach the student become really operate in the business. It's not just teaching and become Confucius or become some kind of academic people. Okay, so be careful about this part. How to maintain the temperature in the slaughterhouse and the cutting house. Because the temperature inside the slaughterhouse will relate with one of very important things, that is meat quality. Once you have good meat quality, you also always need to have a low temperature. Otherwise, the temperature is too high, and then the microbiology bacteria will develop. This is one kind of film you can see from this film. This film is very interesting. Okay, since they are using this kind of infrared, and you also using the robot loading, and you can see they can cutting this meat, and once they cutting this meat, and they found some part of the meat, it reached a certain amount of weight. You can see they will drop down, okay? They will drop down, and underneath they will transport to another place. You will see the second drop down, yes, and then drop down underneath, they will transport to another place. So they can divide all the meat into different parts. Okay, once they can divide, they cut by the infrared, and they cut, and they also loading by this kind of weight machine. And then you can see, and you get very interesting one. So why not? You can using this kind of things as your tool, and then you can develop this kind of machine in part of your industry. Okay? Test, and after many tests, and then you can be success and test in your industry, and your industry people will much more happy and much more interested to your university. And I believe in the future your university will become one of the very good training place, also a very good research and demonstration place. Okay, you can see they are using this method to separate the meat, and then they are easily to packing. And all this kind of method, you not only see in this kind of situation, but you also can use it for another situation. You can see different meat. They are using the movement, this kind of movement mechanism, and then they can packing all this kind of meat, piece by piece. Okay, this is a really very interesting part. I hope you can learn from this kind of film. It's not only see the picture beautiful and also clever, but you have to, based on this one, you can develop your own method to doing things. Okay, so this is a very important using the mechanical way. Okay, you can using all this kind of radio program to teach your student. And you also can use this kind of robotical hands to try to packing all these kind of products, okay, into the pack, and then you can sell to the market. I remember I already left this kind of field in your university, so you can see this kind of field. You can see they are packing according by using this robotic arm to packing in all these kind of places. And then ready, and once they're ready, and then they will send to the marketplace. Okay? And occasionally they will also using this way to cut the meat. And once they cut the meat, sausage go in, and then you can see they will become the plate of the meat, blend of the meat. And this kind of blend of meat, you will find that if you are give some kind of sesame or some kind of this kind of taste things, and then you will find that they can easily, after cooking, they are easily to become a well-cooked meat to sell into the market. Okay, we're talking about the slaughterhouse. We're talking about the cutting, and finally go to this part is go to the processing, go to the final products. And once you become the final products, and then you can know if you can doing this kind of things properly, and then you can get the higher price in the market. And another thing is also very important one. Okay, you can see this kind of thing is also using the automatic equipment to let your meat go through the whole schedule. You can see the whole carcass go here, and they have, in most cases, no any human being is working in this factory. Okay, because there are no any kind of human being working in this factory. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is only the first part they're using the human being. And then the next part they will go inside, and then from this point onwards is always using the machine to cut all this kind of part. According to the part we talking about before. And once they cut it into the part, and then they will using the robotic hands, okay, to cut into the small piece. And at the beginning is cut into the large carcass, and then go into the small piece. And they also consider about the hygiene, so they are wrapped all this kind of robotic. You are not easy to see this kind of rod in many places, but in this case you can see they are wrapped the robotic by the plastic one, try to avoid the dust, try to avoid the microbiology or bacterial things contaminate of your products. You can see they are cutting. Because this kind of cutting, they can utilize most of the meat. Okay, even the small part of meat, they can sell it to the market. Some small part of the meat is with bone, and because with bone, so they can use it as a soup material. Okay, they can cook it as a soup. And so in this case, you can see, and it's also another reason they are doing like this way. Not only for safe labor, but also for safety. Okay? Safe, S-A-V-E. Safety, S-A-V-T-Y. Safety to the animal. You can see they are using this kind of machine to cut the tail part. And because the tail part is a little bit dirty in some part, so they are cutting this part and cutting this bone out. And then they can left the meat. All the meat goes in to the further cutting. And so this is also very interesting part. Okay, remember, once you can using this kind of automatic one, you can see this kind of automatic one, you can save a lot of labor. You also can get a higher profit because in most cases, this kind of bone cannot be used. But in this case, you can very easily to using this kind of bone. Okay, once you can using this kind of bone, and then the profit is coming. Okay, remember this is not only using the bone, but also the outside of the meat. Outside of the bone is the meat. This meat we can correct this meat to make reconstruct the meat. Reconstruct the meat, we can make a very good another kind of taste of the meat. Okay, and this one you can cut it into the very regular, very good, standardized piece of the meat. Okay, so remember, in the future, you can see all these kind of things, not only from the company, but also see this kind of thing in the field, and then you can remember these things, and then you develop some kind of new method by your own way. You can develop some kind of engineering method to cutting the animals. Okay, and then technology for meat and the meat products, a general category of the meat products, whole picture, how to make the restructure the meat. Restructure meat is using a lot of small pieces of meat and it became a big meat. It's not artificial meat. It's put all the pieces of meat became the meat. This is called the reconstruction meat. Sometimes the reconstruction meat taste is much better, even better than marbling. Okay, how to utilize byproducts, for example, cottage, bone, etc. Okay, if you wanted to produce the cottage, and for some people, for example, in Taiwan, we're using the cartilage to make some kind of cartilage rice, and then you can increase your cartilage and consumer, and also can sell at a good price. Cooling and freezing facility and the container design and related to the microbiology. Be careful about this part because microbiology always be higher in the container. Why? Because their temperature if increased, then you will get trouble. How to use cooling method to mature the meat? This is an interesting part. In many developing countries, they're using the meat, just go through the meat processing, but they do not mature them. And in the many developed country, for example, in European country, American, they always mature the meat and let the meat mature, and then they will taste much better. And additive characteristics of the meat products. Okay, this is also very important part. The last second chart may divide into two courses: a slaughter and the cutting, and the meat products and their production. Okay, this is a very important three parts. And one more course, if you really have enough time, and I think you have to ask one of the teacher to involve in the waste management. Because if you do not have waste management, and then the slaughterhouse always cause big trouble about the fly, smelling, and everything. Okay, so if you can have waste management, and then you will find you can treat this kind of waste, and you will find that the treated waste is very good condition. Okay, if you want to see all this kind of thing, you can come to my country and you can have a look. And we are treating this kind of waste. At the moment, it's quite good. Practical training. The practical training, we are training inside the university. University is small size. Have a small size slaughterhouse. Cutting house, processing house, the practical training center can be practical training place, teaching place, and simple research place. I said it before, but we have to emphasize because we said it before, practical training is very important. The inside the training center should include a simple slaughterhouse, cutting place, organ trader place, small meat processing factory, not automatic, but can be done by machine. Okay, that is being semi-automatic. Okay, this inside university training can help your student have more confidence to practical outside university in the future. be easily accepted by the industry. Be easy. Remember this one. If you want your student easily accepted by the industry, they have to have training inside of university. Okay? And they say your teacher can be familiar to the problem, familiar to problem and troubleshooting. Okay? So inside of the university, if you have slaughterhouse, you can know how to troubleshooting about the problems. Practical training outside the university, and this is also very important. Your proposal seems concentrated on the outside university training. Be careful. If only outside training, sometimes you will get in trouble. This part needs the company to provide a flow chart to your student. It is important when your student go into the company, they need to ask the company to provide the flow chart, okay, to the student, and so they know the whole picture. Okay, once they know the whole picture, in the future, it is good for the student to remember everything. Remember, we usually divide the student into clever and not clever. I belong to not clever people. And if I can understand the whole picture, and then I can, in some cases, I can consider as a clever student. Why? Because once you know the whole picture and you know everything, okay, it's not easy to ask a company provider a class for your student. Not easy. Because your student may be 1 or 2, 2 or 3, maybe no more than 5. And then if you want to ask them to give you a class, and then they will spend a lot of time, and they will complain. Okay? Because I have experience about this kind of complaint. Then the student can read the flow chart to understand what kind of things going on. And in the future, when they go back to your place, they also can tell the other student what they are doing in this company. And another important thing is they can know the whole things for his whole life. All the students need to report by the PPT in class. Every student go outside. When they come back, they have to report to the class by PPT. Okay, that's the regulation of my student and in the class. So they back to the class. They report. Why they report? They need to report because they need to think about once more by themselves. They also need to let other people know. And so in this case, they can remember these kind of things more detailed, more clearly. Your university can ask us the support from the EU Bank to construct and install this kind of simple slaughterhouse, cutting place, and the small meat processing factory. If you need any help, please call me, and we can give you some kind of support. Okay, finally, also you do not have slaughter and cutting house. You still can do a few study in your, also you do not have this slaughterhouse or cutting house. You still can do some kind of study in your university. But most of this study not easy to accept by the good journal. Remember, not easy to accept by the journal. But if you have slaughterhouse and cutting house, then your teacher and the postgraduate student can do many good study. Your university even can help industry to solve problems. Then your university and then your papers and all these kind of things can promote your university. You can make very good university. Okay. Thanks for your attention. Thank you for everyone. Do you have any question, comments, or suggestion? Also, I cannot face to you, but if you have this kind of question, comments, suggestion, please don't hesitate to write to me. Thank you.